Our video is going to focus on violence in the Mafia, specifically the different portrayals in Gomorrah, Scarface, and The Godfather Part 2, to illustrate how contrasting methods are used by directors to convey a message.
This scene is the opening scene of the movie. Initially, it seems to be a calm movie, starting with the men at a spa-like location getting manicures and tans. Then, suddenly, more men enter into the scene and murder them. This aggressive entrance is shown very rapidly, mimicking how quickly the escalation in violence occurs throughout the entire movie. Another aspect of this scene is that the actors used in the scene are average people. They do not have Hollywood good looks nor wealthy style clothing. This is in stark contrast to Scarface and the evident exaggeration of the murders. This scene shows how the Mafia does not show much sympathy towards anyone, not even women. This woman was not even guilty of anything against the Mafia. It was her son that betrayed them, but they manipulated a young boy to get her out of her home so that they could murder her as revenge. Toto, participating in his first kill assist, seems to be distraught, not fully aware at this point exactly how brutal the Mafia can be. As soon as she stepped out of the doorway, she was shot in the head and collapsed to the ground. When Maria dropped to the ground, the camera cut away, showing that Gomorrah shies away from emphasizing brutality. This scene shows how excessively savage Brian De Palma wanted the characters to be. They could have used the usual weapon of choice within the Mafia, the gun. However, they decided to be much more graphic and use a chainsaw. The use of the extreme close-up is also noticeable during this scene. The director could have chosen a shot from an angle much further away, but this way we see the agony on the characters' faces as the murder is occurring.
This scene is also the first scene in which there is a high-angle shot of Tony. All the other scenes, the audience is more submissive or level to him by using straight-on or low-angle shots. The director also decided to use a medium close-up during this scene. When Tony is standing above the pole being shot at, the camera is showing his face and torso so that the audience can see that he is being intensely shot in the chest, but he's still fighting and yelling. He once had everything he ever could have wanted, but he ultimately loses all of it, with Tony's paranoia leading to his downfall. The final scenes of the movie reflects how everything in Tony's life is so over the top, even the way he dies. He dies in his own world, in which he lost by his own accord.
An important aspect of the Godfather movies is the idea of the American dream. Vito hiding out and killing Don Fanucci in secret is a pivotal moment for Vito and the Corleone family, because now that Don Fanucci is out of the way, Vito can only rise. In this case, the murder of Don Fanucci was vital for Vito to achieve the American dream and establish the empire of the Corleone family. We can see here that Francis Ford Coppola uses the death of a character not for action or increased drama, but to develop the prosperous and providing persona of Vito.
That's Willie Chasey.
Another component of The Godfather Part 2 is how Michael uses his intellect to gain his power. Before Frank Pentangeli could testify against Michael, Tom and Michael find Frank's brother Vincenzo from Sicily and bring him to the United States as a scare tactic to get Frank not to testify. The scene is important in the fact that not only is Michael willing to use physical violence to achieve power, but he will resort to intimidation, open threats, and other forms of mental violence to complete a task as well.
His name is Vincenzo Pentangeli.
Is he related to the witness?
He is, I believe, his brother.
Overall, violence is one of the most common themes in all mafia movies, but the portrayal and the purpose of each instance of violence can differ. We see this in Gomorrah, with seemingly inappropriate music paired with non-embellished displays of violence, in Scarface, where the gaudy exhibition of brutality defined the whole movie, and in The Godfather Part 2, where multiple forms of violence are shown to expand a character's background and to keep the mafia alive. In these films, we learned how different styles of violence are characteristic of the type of film, and without these displays, the films would not be what they are today.